these white runts, man. This is
There you go. Do the white runts
recommended
because
by
I'm going to go ahead and get it started. I just hit the
my bud
button.
tender.
Yeah. Do what you got to do, man. All I have to do is say welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday night in America as well as the greater COVID land area. And we did not suffer any power interruptions this evening. So we are indeed
Woohoo!
broadcasting live. It is officially now 10 o'clock at the Giant Granite Phallus in the District of Criminals. You know what that means.
Grab your ankles.
That's
Here
right.
we come.
That's right. Whether you're ready or not, it's just the way we do it. And, just the way we do it here in the good old USS of A. We got a report just a few minutes ago from one of our listeners on the Odyssey live stream tonight that their house in Washington State just got buzzed by a drone very similar to what you have been seeing in news reports from New Jersey over the course of the last 7 days or so. So it looks like we are finally getting into the new technotronic era, Mr. Brzezinski.
Definitely better to be buzzed by the weeds than buzzed by the drone.
I would agree with that.
But you can do both. You can be buzzed by the weeds, all paranoid, and then look out your window and actually see the drones buzzing your window. And then you're not paranoid. No, they actually are out to get you. Anyways, keep smoking.
Yeah. Well, you might be paranoid, but that just because you're paranoid does not mean that they're not out to get you. We learned that from Kurt Cobain, what, 30
That's
years
right.
ago?
The key takeaway, Driz, is don't let the paranoia destroy you.
That's right.
There you go. Rules to the game. I didn't make the rules. I just follow
Well, I don't think we knew it
them.
at the time, Yona, but last week's episode was recorded in a completely different world.
Yeah, we're living in a new world, and I suppose I best get this out of the way first because I've got a special video for later on. But I really feel like I can't delay any further. I mean, 2.5 years ago, back when Aaron Mate, the buzzsaw from the Gray Zone, son of Gabor Mate.
Is that his son?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And he was cutting his teeth going back and forth to the Jimmy Dore show about the fact that there was not sarin gas in the backpack that the CNN lady is sniffing on screen, and that the supposed chemical gas attack in Syria used as justification for the bombing of Assad was all bunk, that it was a hoax. And well, turns out it was a hoax. But nonetheless, that I'm just kind of giving you the atmosphere and the timing for when I started making this Bashar al-Assad remix.
Right.
And fortunately, I never finished it because when I went back to finish it, it was so bad. The production was so bad. The everything was. I'm in a different place now, Drizzle. You know what I'm saying? Once you're able to make music that doesn't suck, then when you go back and hear music that sucks,
Right.
you have to make it unsuck.
Well, I
That's
don't think it was ever a case that your previous offering sucked. It was
the
more
production sucks.
right. Well, and that's a process. That's
Yeah,
as you're
it's a whole nother
learning
skill
how
set you
to
have to learn.
craft sound. That is a process that you go through.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I get asked all the time, like, how do you get such a rich sound during broadcast. And it's like, I can't really explain it to you to where it's going to make sense. I
Right.
learned how to work with sound a long time ago. And I just apply that knowledge to what I do now.
Well, as I found out, it's one thing to compose music. It's another thing to perform music.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole nother thing to record music.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, don't stop there. There's more. Because after you record the music, then you have to produce the music and then master the mix.
Yeah.
And so normally you don't have the same person doing all 5 steps in the music industry. There are people that just write songs. They're called songwriters. Makes sense. Um,
Correct.
there are musical performers
That's right.
that they just go on stage and perform. Half the
Mm-hmm.
time they're lip syncing. Hey, look at me, I'm
Some don't
sexy
even
and
do
pretty.
that. Some just go into the studio and
Right.
record, and that's all they do. They're called session musicians.
That's right.
Matter of fact,
You never see them
most
on
of
stage.
your favorite albums from the 60s and 70s were not recorded by the bands that you associate with that song. They were actually recorded by session musicians
That's
so
right.
that it would sound better than what you got at the concert. Because they actually, half of those bands couldn't even play their fucking instruments.
And then you have recording studios. They have the mics and the special foamies on the wall and all that stuff for the acoustics, and they record. And you would think, "All right, I've got my recordings. We're good." No, skirt, stop, no, now your music has to be produced, and then the mix has to be mastered. Then when you have the master mix of the produced recordings, you're ready to go on the air.
Basically.
Kind of like when, the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, or I guess we could just abbreviate it as ISIS. Oh, what a coincidence. Um, like at their base and on Altamf, or the other areas there around Adarazor on the border with Iraq. Uh, Funny story, my dialect that I was learning
Yeah,
was
because you were, for folks who don't know,
I
Yona
was an
was
Arab link.
in the United States Army
That's
as a
right. Upper
translator.
Partus, always prepared.
Right.
Um, and my specific dialect was Syrian, um,
Interesting.
Syrian Lebanese, which is kind of
It's kind of
I'm gonna say
timely.
it's the gayest accent of Arabic because it's got so much French mixed into it. And of course, you start mixing in French to your language, you're going gay, and it's gonna get gayer and gayer the more
As time
French
goes
you
by,
add.
yeah. Because once
It's
you introduce that contagion, it doesn't just go away on its own. You
and
have to
it's the
burn it
same thing
out.
in the United States. You're at some fucking cocktail party, everyone's eating fucking fondue squares off of these long fucking gay ass looking fork things, fondue forks, and all of a sudden you'll overhear, "Oh, this has such a I don't know, je ne sais quoi," these hors d'oeuvres are so nice, and the more pretentiously the French is mispronounced, the better,
Hmm.
because it's all about, putting on airs
Right.
of,
Right.
you speak French and it sounds sophisticated
And gay,
when everyone's gay.
I
But then for
guess.
the
I don't know.
non-gay, you're just like, "This is excessively gay." why would you use French when you just said it in English? Because that's the whole point. Just the same reason as why you'll hear the professional managerial class defer to their elitist jargon. And so
Hmm.
for the hoi polloi out there, when they hear hoi polloi being discussed, probably don't realize, hey, hoi polloi means us poor people like me.
That's right. It does.
It's just
What was
Greek
the what
because
was yeah, what was the name for the elite class? It was like Aloy something. It fuck, what's the word? Like it didn't rhyme, but it was alliterative of hoi polloi. But I can't remember the term.
uh,
I have it in a book somewhere. I read it. That's why I didn't commit it to memory. It's like, oh, it's in this book. I'll just go and find it again at some point 5 years from now when I can't remember what fucking book it was. Oh no, did I stump the Yona?
well, I think that there was a specific term for the upper class.
Correct.
Um,
And
oh,
it
the
sounded
Aristoi.
the what?
Aristoi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aristoi. Hoi polloi and Aristoi. Aristoi is where we get aristocrat.
Right. Correct. And aristocratic and
Aristoi.
yeah,
There
all
it
of
is.
that.
There. Okay. Hoi polloi and Aristoi. Um, yeah.
Doing it live. Fuck yeah.
When you're mixing in Greek to your professional managerial jargon, that's beyond gay. That's straight up butt stuff. Because I mean, in French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, if you say in those languages, you're doing it Greek, or you got Greek with such and such. In those languages, to say you went Greek with such and such,
Right.
or it got Greek, that means
Is
butt
that
stuff.
why fraternities and sororities are called Greek because they do butt stuff?
Probably so. Probably so. Some statistics do show that, according to studies. We have it on word from some unnamed expert. Well, without further ado, let me get this out of the way.
Uh-oh.
This is called what did I call it? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Assad, Mossad, Grass Sod, Smurf Turf remix.
Oh, we're jumping straight into music. Awesome.
Because it's that's actually, how long is this? 4 minutes. Wow.
Well, that's radio
4
friendly.
minutes. That's a quickie for me. Trust me, I can go pretty long. Let's
That's what
see.
she said.
Yeah, it's true. Because
I'm a
who?
champion at that game. Nobody can beat me.
Assad, Mossad, Grass Sod. 'Cause, I mean, you can't talk about the fall of Assad in Syria without Mossad and Unit 8200. Shout out to the Hasbara. Um, let's see. I think I've got it loaded and ready.
Yeah, we're ready to rock
And
and roll.
unfortunately, it's not been monetized
Well, it
as
just
of
went
yet,
up.
but it just went up. So give it time. Maybe Peter Thiel is a Bashar al-Assad fan. We'll see. He's an Assadist toady.
Live from the 304.
الشعب السوري بالساحات للمجد بيرفع رايات عم يهتف بثلاث كلمات الله وسوريا وبشار كنيسة
I had to
وما
put out
بدهن
now.
إلا بشار.
Really need to eat.
الجيش السوري بوقفة عز وهز الكون وما
There's a
بينهز.
buckle
يا ربي من عندك عز الجيش السوري هالمغوار. سوريا رجالها فرسان لما بتنزل عالميدان إلا بتحرير الجولان وما بيرضى القائد بشار. يوسف عظمة عظمانو ينادي ابراهيم هانانو والسلطان باشا بزمانو شعل فرنسا بالنار. والشيخ صالح بجباله قاد الثورة برجاله وحافظ وصى أشباله بسوريا بلد الأحرار. نحنا فجر الحرية بحروف الأبجدية سريان وفينيقية غير سوريا ما منختار. قولوا بالصوت العالي بدنا نصون الرسالة للغالي وابن الغالي وبالروح منفدي بشار. الشعب السوري بالساحات وللمجد بيرفع راياته عم يهتف بدت كلماته الله سوريا وبشار. الله وسوريا وبشار. نحن رجالك يا بشار. الله وسوريا
That's it, folks. There's been Picaro with us. The end of an era. Time for some more puppet Khalif tapes, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was bumping. What was the what type of music was the shit, what do you call that? Was that like a lyre? The higher pitched instrumentation?
um,
I don't even know what you
yeah,
call that.
that's actually based on the midgewiz, which is called the Bedouin flute.
Oh, so it's a flute.
Midgewiz. Mijwiz.
Okay,
Not to be confused with MI5. That's on Downing Street.
correct.
City of London.
Also,
Anyway.
also not to be confused with skin flute. That is also number 10 Downing Street.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ask David Cameron.
Or
Or
Tony
the,
Blair.
Yeah, we were discussing that earlier.
Yeah, we did actually break the rule and we spoke off air this morning. I know everyone is devastated to hear that news.
Yeah, well, I just couldn't help but just superfluously effervescence the complete aura and magic that is Queer Stormer over there.
What is he up to now? He's still putting people in jail for making posts on Facebook, right?
I mean, he literally looks like a manager at a Cinnabon. Like, I could see him
Yeah,
working
or like
alongside Saul
a
Goodman.
Brooks Brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or even I could even see him carving meat at the, Golden Corral buffet line. Totally. But,
I don't know. I think
they
that
think he
might
could
be a
wear the
stretch.
fancy hat and the apron and everything.
Hmm.
Buffet lines.
I don't know. I have a difficult time with that one. But I
Do
have
they
been
even have
distracted this week, so
buffet-style restaurants in England? I don't think so. They got pork pies instead.
yeah, I don't think they do. They our
Buffet-style
listeners in
dining
England
may
should let us
be an
know
American
what's the
institution.
state of like the buffet restaurant in Great Britain nowadays. Is there such a thing? Does this creature exist in your magical land?
Where you can just keep going back, all you can eat.
All you can eat.
Just circling back.
It seems to me that's a very American thing. And you're probably not going to find that outside of the borders of the United States
And
so
it's under
much.
attack too. I mean, for example, all KFCs used to have buffets. All Pizza Huts used to at least have like a salad bar buffet over by the Miss Pac-Man machine. But now most Pizza Huts aren't even under a red roof. They're delivery carry out only. It's like in a strip mall or something. You just go in and get your pizza and fucking leave. There's no checkerboard tablecloth. There's no pitchers of beer or Coke. There's no Pac-Man machine. Fuck you, get out. Um, most of the KFCs don't have buffet lines anymore. Even well, all of the Lee's famous recipes, they still have their buffets. So you can still keep making a beeline from your table back and forth to those freshly fried livers and gizzards. Yum, yum. Just
Ugh.
throw more bacon or
What
well,
what
bacon and gravy on it.
what kind of
So
restaurant is that?
Lee's famous recipe, chicken.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Well,
Is that a
they're
Midwest thing?
they're in Kentucky and Ohio. Where is
That's
that?
probably why I haven't spent a lot of time in either Kentucky or Ohio.
Lee's famous recipe chicken. Lee's famous recipe. All right, let's find out about
Oh, are we sharing?
it.
Or are you just reading?
Well, is there one? Okay. Let's go to their Wikipedia entry for Lee's famous recipe. Let's get some history on it.
Well, I mean, it is Get Fact Harder. I guess we're kind of like obligated.
Oh, all right. Okay. Let me share this. Why not? Okay. So, Lee's famous recipe chicken is a quick service restaurant franchise founded in 1966, specializing in chicken homestyle sides and biscuits. After the sale of Kentucky Fried Chicken in 1964, Lee Cummings, the nephew of KFC founder Colonel Harlan Sanders, began developing his recipe, later to be known as famous recipe. In 1966, Lee Cummings, along with Harold Omer, started Harold's Take Home in Lima, Ohio. Or is it Lima? We're going to go with Lima, where Cummins first introduced his famous recipe chicken. Later that year, Cummins opened the restaurant's first franchise in Columbus, Ohio. Locations in Springfield, Dayton, and Cincinnati followed in the coming years, as well as a unit in Kalamazoo, Michigan. In 1981, Cummins sold the chain to Shoney's Restaurants in Nashville, Tennessee. Shoney's continued to operate Lee's, along with their own Captain D's and Shoney's Restaurants until 1995, when Lee's was sold to RTM Restaurant Group in Atlanta, Georgia. In May 2003, the chain had 29 locations, company owned, and 125 franchise locations. In October 2003, Lee's Famous Recipes Incorporated purchased the chain from RTM. And in 2013, Famous Recipe Group LLC purchased the chain from Lee's Famous Recipe.
So
In
basically,
June
they've got like a
2021,
chook joint empire going.
Famous Recipe Group, brand owner of Lee's, agreed to sell the brand to LFR Chicken LLC, a new entity backed by Artemis Lane Partners. Huh? What the fuck is RTM?
That's a good question. Is there a link?
Yeah, I went to the link. All right. Rourke Capital Group.
Okay, so it sounds like an investment firm.
Yeah, it's another investment firm. All right,
Right.
let me go back to this other one. Artemis Lane Partners. Who the fuck is that?
Wait, did you say partners?
Artemis Lane Partners. What?
Yeah, that also sounds like an investment firm.
Yeah, I know, right? Artemis Lane.
Greener than Google? How is that possible?
Ryan Weaver. Who the fuck is Ryan Weaver?
I don't know. Who is Ryan Weaver?
And look at that. Lee's Famous Recipes sold to Artemis Lane. Artemis, private equity for industrial tech.
Ah,
Private equity, you say?
the plot sickens.
Ryan Weaver. The Weaver team, real estate. What's going on here? What's happening?
I mean, I would imagine Ryan Weaver is a fairly common name in the United States, so you should get a lot of hits on that.
Investment group. And a deal
That's what I was going to
structured
look at.
to grow Lee's Famous Recipe. Its parent company, Famous Recipe Group LLC, is selling it to LFR Chicken LLC, a new entity backed by Artemis Lane Partners. Neither party disclosed the sale amount. Shh, it's a secret. It's been the honor of a lifetime to lead the Lee's brand over the past 18 years, and I'm pleased to hand the reins over to the team at Artemis Lane that plans to scale the brand to new heights. Lee's, which is based in Florida and has 130 locations in 12 U.S. states, has set record sales in 40 of the last 44 quarters, with more than half of its stores reporting record monthly sales to date.
Hmm. When was this written?
June 24th, 2021.
3.5 years ago.
Breaking news. That's when the sale happened. That's when Artemis gobbled it up.
Gotcha.
Oh, Ryan Weaver is the new CEO. Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, well,
I was just say if you
Ryan Weaver, 2013 MSF from Villanova University, investment banking. He joined Apollo Global Management and Private Equity.
No shit.
Today, he's controlling owner and the chief executive officer of Artemis Lane Partners. There he is. Connect with Ryan. Oh my God. He's
Interesting.
putting out some major pedo vibes with that beard and that smile. But I'm just saying.
That's a beard?
I think so.
I thought that was just, well, my screen is smaller than everybody else's, so I can't see fine detail.
Can I blow up on that? No, I don't want to save that image.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Shalimar, Florida.
We've been doing pretty good tonight. I would like to keep the glitches to a minimum, if at all possible. Again, apologies to everybody else who was tuned in last night. That was absolutely foobar.
Ooh.
We can do better than that.
Oh, you know what? Villanova just ruined my whole screen sharing experience there. I apologize for that. Poison Ivy League. You're going to need more ointment. Anyways.
Oh, we got plenty. And there's always Amazon can deliver more by drone, so we got it all set.
I mean, isn't Villanova
whether you're in New Jersey or
Catholic?
Washington State, we got you covered. Yeah.
Yeah, Villanova is a Catholic Jesuit fucking.
I think it is Jesuit.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Along with Georgetown.
That's right. Go Hoyas. But Villanova is the Wildcats.
Correct. Both of them fairly good at college basketball as well. Usually.
They fight like cats and dogs.
That's right.
Because they are. I would have to put my money on Foggy Bottom, though.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that where Juan Guaido went to school?
Quite
He didn't
possible.
do Georgetown. He did Foggy Bottom.
Wow. It's been a while since I've had to think about Juan Guaido.
GMU. Come on, man. GMU, buddy. George Mason University.
Yeah, I know.
Man.
I used to live right down the street from it.
Hello.
Like, I literally lived right down the street from George Mason in Fairfax. It was nuts. Yeah. Dude, and there's so many fucking spooks among the faculty there. Like, anybody in like the poli-sci department, probably a fucking spook. Anybody in the history department, probably a fucking spook.
And it's called Foggy Bottom because people get spooked and piss their pants. There you go.
Yeah, that's one reason. Yeah.
And just stay away from Rock Creek Park. Way too much crack down there. You didn't know that Juan Guaido went to GMU?
I did not. I'm wondering if it's even going to be on his Wikipedia page.
I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Let's go to Eco.
I mean, there's a personal life section, but it's very short. Just says who he's married to and how many children they have and what their names are. Oh, and also that Guaido is a Freemason. Thank you, Wikipedia. Could not have figured that out without your help.
Wait, I said GMU. I had it upside down. He went to G-Dubs.
Oh, he went to George Washington. Well, that makes more sense.
University.
I'm like, yeah, because Foggy Bottom is not in Fairfax. It's in D.C. Which is also, yeah, George Washington is also a spooky university. As well as AMU, American University.
Okay, so Foggy Bottom is the location of the main campus of George Washington University.
Correct.
So I'm so high, I had everything right except
is it your one George letter upside down?
Mason, it's George Washington, right. Who was a Mason.
Which again,
see, I'm still confused. Right. Fuck, this is so confused.
Well, they do that on purpose. You know, it's like the owl that was designed into the street layout in DC.
Oh, that's all right.
They do that on purpose.
Just to torment Shelley out there. I've always got my engineer's ruler and compass down here as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna keep the compass out of sight because you know,
There was one night, I think it
you
might have
gotta you,
been
you gotta be a certain degree Mason in order to see my cool stuff.
yeah. I think it might have been last Friday night or maybe Tuesday night. We had it just so happened I'd pulled up the Rumble front page for some reason during the broadcast. I can't remember what it was, and just happened to look at the viewer count over on the sidebar, and it was 33.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, of course, you got to consider it at that time what the constellation was as well.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Early life and education is at the very beginning. I didn't even see that. That's how high I am. I completely missed that. And yes, with partnerships of the George Washington University as part of his postgraduate program of public administration,
Oh,
which
thank
sounds
God.
similar to what they do at the Kennedy School, right? Over at Harvard, where they bring in kids from all over the planet and train them how to operate a technocratic government.
gosh, I'm going to share this because we're always exploring and going in new directions. Actually, we're not, but I'm just saying that because it sounds
Sometimes we
cool.
just get lost, but that's fine.
Um,
It's
okay,
fun.
so I should have this pulled up. I'm over 50 years old. I've never read my horoscope or checked the
Really?
stars or
I used to
anything
read it
like
every
that,
day.
and apparently that's why my whole life has gone to hell.
And then
So,
I think my frontal lobe finished forming fully, and I just stopped.
well, I consulted my calendar tables, and there's 12 months, and I figured out which one of the signs I am, and it turns out I'm a Leo. So
Well,
let's
when were
see
you
here.
born? What day?
July 28th.
July 28th? Yes, you're a Leo. You're a fire
Yeah.
sign.
So let's see. December the 12th. Hey, that's today.
That is
Okay.
today.
All right. Yona may be tempted to shift into high gear today, Leo, but you're likely to be unsure where to focus your energy. You may be revved up and anxious to get moving, but feel lazy and unmotivated to do anything. But sit back and wait for the excitement to come to you. Wow. See, I was going to go all the way to Columbus, but then I thought, nah, I'll just smoke weeds and hang out instead. Wow, how did they know that? Whatever you do, don't retreat into a hole. Dress up and show. Look, bro, got the collar shirt on here, Drizled.
Right?
I'm just reading this now. Seriously, dress up and show off your outer as well as your inner beauty. Well, heal your heart. Oh, come on now. Did you have to throw that in? Really? Trying to make a believer out of the Yona, aren't you? That's all bunk. Anyways, back to you, Drizzle.
Yeah. Well, you see, here's how it works. Like you'll get those once. I don't know, maybe maybe a couple handfuls of times a year. You'll get something that's just dead on for the day. Rest of the year won't have anything to do with anything that you experienced, went through, thought, felt, shared, masturbated, whatever.
So what you're telling me is horoscopes are like playing the lottery.
Yeah.
And every now
Or
and then
like
you'd be
blind
like,
hogs.
"Oh my god, I just won $20."
Right.
All right, here, let me buy 15 lottery tickets with these winnings.
Right. Broken
Should've took
clocks
your
are
money and
still
run.
right twice every single day.
Just because you won then don't mean you're on a lucky streak. Take your money and run. Yona gave you the advice. You win that $100. Take the
Casino
$100
game.
bucks.
Casino
Fucking
game
run.
is a perfect
Don't buy
analogy.
another
That's
ticket for the
correct.
rest of the day.
That is absolutely correct. It's not that you're gambling with money. You're gambling with your belief is what you're doing. People don't
Right.
understand that belief is actually one of the main powers that you have. Where you choose to invest that belief has a lot to do with the conditions of the life that you live.
That's right. Where do you invest your time?
Well, you get what you think about most of the time.
Just like, shooting free throws from the charity stripe, 15 feet from the bucket. Bucket's 10 foot off the ground. If you have doubt as to whether or not you're going to make it, you've already missed the shot.
Hmm.
If it still goes in, you just got lucky. It's a matter of there's such a mentality behind free throws. You have to see the ball going through the hoop before you even shoot it. And then it's all just one fluid motion. Boom, right through the fucking net. You have to see it. You have to know you're going to hit it before you hit it.
Well, it's
Don't
also
talk
it's also a
yourself out of hitting
mechanic,
the ball.
right? Like you
Yeah.
can work out the physics of sinking that shot from that spot on the court every single time because that spot doesn't change. Where the basket is doesn't change. Those are fixed points.
It's the subtleties and the mentality because you've got to be in like a pool of calm zen to just block out everything, to just not be distracted by anything at all and just mechanically sink the fucking shot. Put points on the board while the clock is stopped. That's how you win games, son. Anyway,
Shit, how did we get there? Anyway,
well, I don't know. I heard the whistle blow and there was a foul called. Anyway, and then you go to the stripe. That's how it works.
wow, where is that button?
Stop
Let's-
tailgating me,
there
you
we
pasty
go.
teabag.
It is basketball season.
I guess it is technically, isn't it? Microsoft was trying to force basketball scores on me the other day on the new machine, and I was like, no, fuck off.
I had to deliver pizzas to a basketball game yesterday, and I gotta say, I could hear the noises of the athletes and the crowd before I went in the what's that word I'm looking for? Gymnasium, the gym, and as I was walking out, I kept thinking, man, can't wait till volleyball season starts. 'Cause we got Division I volleyball teams at the Thundering Herd, Marshall University. We are Marshall.
Are they any
Men's
good?
and women's. They sound great.
Yeah, nobody
Especially
cares
when
about the men's volleyball.
Yeah.
It's like saying that they have a uh, men's volleyball is basically the WNBA of volleyball. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. And you should see the outfits the men's volleyball team has to wear. Wow.
Nobody's watching. Nobody cares. They only want to hear the women playing volleyball. They don't even necessarily want to see them. They just want to hear them.
That's really got me thinking. There's actually
Beach volleyball is a different story. We definitely want to see that shit.
men's volleyball. There's men's college volleyball fans out there.
Well, I mean, there's people walking around with green hair too. So
That makes sense though, because Marshall's color is green. We did not see. We didn't storyboard this out before.
No.
It's all just organic. Amazing, amazing. I have this video from Death to Tyrants, but we're gonna save that for a juicy morsel at the end.
is that the one he keeps trying to force on everybody?
Chera Wahookie.
Like he's already put it in the Rumble chat like 5 times tonight. I almost kicked him out of the chat. The 5th
I've already
time,
got the link pulled up,
but I like the number 5. So
settle
I let him
down,
stay.
Beavis. It's gonna be okay, Cornholio.
Yeah. I mean, he gets a little out of hand sometimes, but most of the time he means well. He's just misguided. That's all.
We're playing spades here, Deathy. You saved the face cards for the last few hands. Surely, I mean, I couldn't imagine. I mean, surely Deathy doesn't just play his aces as soon as he can.
Hmm.
You want to take out somebody's king or queen with that ace, buddy. Basic fucking cards, man. Anyway, you wait
I
for
don't
that other motherfucker to play that king with that smile on their face, and then blam, ace on that bitch.
I don't think
And
we
then
ever
there's
actually got
Yona.
around
I
to.
don't even have any diamonds left. Blam, killed it all with a two of spades.
Yeah. I don't think we ever actually got around to the whole Syria thing though. Cuz wasn't Syria part of the West Clark 7?
Yes.
Okay. So scratch that one off the list now. What's left?
You're wrong.
That's it?
Yep. Somalia, Libya, Sudan, Syria, Iraq, and Iran, right?
I'm going to look it up. No reason to guess when we have the world's knowledge at our fingertips, right?
Oh, it was Lebanon.
Yeah. So Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran. God damn it, you got 6 of them.
What's the one I got wrong? Oh, I left out Lebanon.
Yeah, you left out Lebanon.
I just left out Lebanon.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one left.
Yeah. Syria, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Iran. Oh, I put in Iraq.
No, Iraq is
Oh,
on
but
the list.
Iraq is in the list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So Lebanon was missing. All right. Hey, good enough. 6 out of 7 ain't bad, especially from the charity stripe. That's
Yeah.
still going to win the game.
That's a good night. I think that's probably pretty much a wrap for imperialism in the Middle East, right?
So,
Because it's
where
going to
did
be
Bashar
split.
al-Assad go? Did he?
He's in
flee the
Russia.
country?
He's in Moscow.
Oh.
He's going to go back to being just a mild mannered eye doctor now instead of a bloodthirsty dictator. Apparently that didn't suit him. So, yeah, he's going back to his roots in Russia.
So Russia has a Fletcher Memorial Home for tyrants.
Apparently so. Yes.
There you go, Pink Floyd.
I think what happened was Putin just took pity on him. Because, like, every time I see pictures of this dude, he just looks miserable. He just looks like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. I'm only doing this because my father made me do it. I just want to get the fuck out of here.
And oh my God, have you ever actually listened to Bashar al-Assad? His voice?
I don't think
He
so.
speaks English too. Oh my God. But he speaks with a lisp.
I was just about to ask, does he have a lisp?
Imagine if you had like an Arabic version of Lindsey Graham with a lilt and a lisp and a very, very effeminate delivery of his consonants and vowels. Yeah.
I mean, with that chin, it would kind of make sense.
And now I'm picturing Bashar al-Assad and Lindsey Graham making out.
Where's that bud?
Stop tailgating me, you pasty teabag.
That was just wrong. That was wrong, Yona.
Because when I think of Lindsey Graham, I think of him over in Syria and Lebanon and Israel. And has he ever met a war he wouldn't suck or fuck?
No. No, because
Ugh.
war provides him with everything that he needs in life.
I mean,
Gives him
wasn't
fresh blood to keep him young. He gets money
Lindsey
from the
Graham with
kickbacks
Victoria
paid to him from
Newland?
the military industrial complex.
And who else was there with him? John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Victoria Newland, um,
Mm.
Samantha Powers. And they like had little sandwiches and crudité, you know, which of course is your carrots and broccoli florets and cauliflower florets with a fine ranch dip. Um, and they were playing footsies with all of the Waffen SS divisions there
Mm-hmm.
in the Ukraine, right? What was it? What are they called? The Azov
Azov,
Battalion?
yeah.
Yeah. Right
Which
sector.
I believe translates to like Sons of Hitler or something. I don't. I might not have that right. Y'all might want to fact check me on that.
Putin deeper. Break that ass off. Anyways. The pun that keeps on giving. Well, that covers those war fronts. What the fuck is
I
going
guess.
on with like North Korea and South Korea? Because I mean, it's not just the
Oh, dude,
dictatorship
South Korea is
issues
just like
in
totally
South
fucked right
Korea,
now.
but like
All right, so
South Korea's had a lot of political turmoil. I mean,
a
you
lot
look
of
at how many
turmoil.
presidents have been replaced and riots have
Well, I think they're about to do it again.
exposed.
So the defense minister, right, the dude that basically told the president, "Yeah, go ahead and declare martial law. It's good. We'll take care of it. It'll be fine." So he was arrested,
Nope.
right? And apparently he tried to commit suicide while under arrest.
Right. Like a true Epstein. He
Right.
tried to Epstein himself.
Correct. I guess it's the style of the times now.
Oh, what were the
That's just
cameras
what you do.
malfunctioning in his cell again?
I don't know. I didn't dig that deep into it because I honestly don't give a fuck. But I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, okay. Well, damn, you even
Right.
failed at that too, buddy. I guess
You know,
we'll find something you're good at eventually.
I can imagine Yoav Gallant, former Israeli defense minister, you know, fucking up and having a layover in Vaduz, in Liechtenstein, of course, and being thrown in the Liechtenstein dungeon and then, suffering a failed suicide attempt. Because, I mean, if you end up in the dungeon in Liechtenstein,
I
oh
would
boy,
say that's pretty bad.
you'd be better off in Austria, which is Österreich. Yeah, who wants to say that? I mean, they put caraway seeds in their bread. Fuck are you doing?
Why?
It's just bread. Leave it alone. Why? What are you doing? What are you doing? What's with this pumpernickel swirl and caraway seeds and rye bread? Let's just get some plain white bread. Goddamn. Fuck, man. Maybe sourdough bread. I can rock with that. Caraway seeds? Really? Really, I should be getting money from the Liechtenstein Ministry of Tourism.
You
As,
really
as much
should, because you
as
keep
much
bringing it
time
up, and
and
I'm not
effort
quite
as I
sure why.
constantly devote to Europe's probably least known micronation. Although San Marino might be even less well known. Most people have heard of like Monte
That might
Carlo
be.
and Monaco. Most people have heard of the Vatican City. Some people have heard of Andorra. I guess
Hmm.
Luxembourg could be considered a micronation. Not really.
I thought it
Just
was
a
still
small
technically
country.
like a city state.
Just a small country. Well, yeah, it's a city state, but
Yeah.
It's as big as a micronation could get. Then when
Which
you get
is
to that.
basically what I thought San Marino was.
Right. It's just smaller.
I mean, I still
It's
think I could just
weird.
like go out in my backyard because technically I own the property, right?
I mean, basically, these
And just carve out
micronations,
like a little
uh,
bit of land back there and
other
make it a
than the
new
Vatican
nation.
City, which is a different case altogether, but, you know, accepting the Vatican City from this discussion, the other micronations like Monaco and Andorra and Liechtenstein and the others, these are all basically like and San Marino, they're leftovers from the Middle Ages. They're like independent duchies and kingdoms that have survived centuries and centuries and centuries and maintained their independent rule by royalties,
Hmm.
monarchs. Pretty wild shit.
Well, how big is Monaco?
Monaco is really, really small. It's just basically like some cliffs with a big marina.
And yet they have a king and queen, right?
That's right.
That just rules over Monaco.
Yep.
Like, where did their wealth come from? If they're just this tiny little plot of land, how does that
well,
work?
like for example, they constantly marry into money too. Like, wasn't Grace Kelly married to the Prince of Monaco?
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure the Prince of Monaco had a shit ton more money than Grace Kelly did.
Right. And they're even richer now.
Correct. I mean, are they
But I
like
would say
the
that's probably because,
are they like the House
there's
of
such a
Saud?
landed there's such a landed aristocracy in Europe and they're such a banking power. Oh, yeah. That's right.
That would explain it.
Yeah.
I'm
Now
honestly
what's
surprised
that?
that New York City has decided to remain a part of the United States for as long as it has. Could easily just break away and become its own nation.
I was thinking that there's another one of those little
That
micronations
might even be
between
something that they want to look at pursuing in the near future.
Italy and let's see. Now that's got me thinking. European micronation.
It's always dangerous when something gets the Yona thinking.
Oh, well, yeah, I named them all. Andorra, Liechtenstein, Monaco, San Marino, and the Vatican City. The sixth smallest country in the list would be Malta,
Okay.
Knights of Malta.
Right. Which is
But
an
I would,
island nation.
yeah, but that's not really. I mean, when I think of a micronation, I think of it being like pretty much surrounded by other bigger countries. Malta is just some islands out in the mid. Anyways, yeah, Andorra, Liechtenstein, Malta. All right, well, that's enough bullshitting on European micronations because it seems like the whole European Union thing, as expected, after Brexit,
Hmm.
I'm just waiting to see more countries break away from the European Union. And eventually, I'm going to predict that France will go back to using the franc, Germany will go back to using the Deutschmark, and the euro's just going to be discarded. Going
Really?
out on a limb here. Don't hear that many people saying that. They're all saying,
No.
"Oh no, we're all going to go to this universal
What
buck
leads
coin or
you
whatever." No,
what leads you
no.
to think this?
Cash is king. Barter rules. there's always gonna be fucking street transactions. People demand financial anonymity of transactions. This whole blockchain ledger and fucking everything following around, nah. That was designed to have complete surveillance of financial transactions. What the ledger's all about. Correct me
Well,
if I'm
yeah.
wrong, Satoshi Nakamoto. I saw your white paper. Not impressed.
I don't understand why anyone was ever presenting it as anonymous money. It's never what it was, never what it was designed to be. Again,
Otherwise, there wouldn't
anybody
be
who
a
actually takes
blockchain
the
ledger.
time to learn about something before they start running their mouth about it would have figured that out at the very beginning. I did. I heard about Bitcoin a long fucking time ago, but I didn't learn about cryptocurrencies and blockchain and all of that shit until 2020. And when I started learning about it, I was like, oh, so it's not anonymous at all. There are pros and cons to that.
So, I don't know if I ever covered it, but turns out since the derailment of the Norfolk Southern train in East Palestine,
Oh, yeah.
Ohio, on the border with Beaver County, Pennsylvania, it's
Mm-hmm.
greater Pittsburgh metro area we're talking about.
It's been a while since we've heard about East Palestine.
Um, as a result of that,
Shit, we're coming
you
up
know,
on what, the 2-year anniversary?
the major Class One railroads have been pushing back at every possible opportunity on putting in, you know, positive train control (PTC), um, which allows the controllers from the different rail yards to stop a train if a train won't stop itself. Positive train control, um, to prevent wrecks and collisions and to slow trains down to be
Right.
able to override the engineer. Can't do that right now on most tracks. Um, and so, and they've been largely successful. However, with their precision schedule railroading, um, which again, it's all about minimizing the largest expense for the railroad companies, which is labor costs. That's why they've pretty much gotten rid of cabooses. Most trains just have an eddy on the end, EDT, end of train device, ETD, or an eddy. Um, and it's a little orange box with a blinking red light on it that's stuck in the coupler.
Right.
Um, so, and they've cut it from 3 crewmen to 2 crewmen because, trains used to be operated with 3 crewmen and a crew in the back caboose with the little side windows checking all of the running gear and, the 1868 air brakes and the hot boxes on the side of the axles where they can sometimes catch fire because they're, again, using 19th century technology in the are we in the 21st century now? I think we are.
Correct. We are.
Yeah, yeah. So it's over 200-year-old technology. I think when it's over 200 years old, you can't even call it technology at that point. They're somehow still functioning historic artifacts. But the private equity companies and everybody else just want to cut labor costs with the railroad. So they've been pushing to operate these monster 5-mile long trains, which
Mm-hmm.
no other country operates 5-mile trains anywhere ever, not even Australia. And they've got fucking road train semis that like 10 fucking trailers. They don't even do that dumb shit like that because it's dangerous
It's
railroading,
irresponsible.
which will lead to lots of derailments. But we're averaging almost 8 derailments a day now. Used to be 7. Um, No other
Oh,
country
so we're
even
getting better
averages
at it.
1 derailment a day. We're so far in the lead of complete lack of rail safety. So, with that being said,
We are
I was
number
about
one
to throw away
again.
this old newspaper, and I happened to look down, buried in my Herald Dispatch from the weekend edition, the Saturday edition, April 13th, 2024. So this is 8 months ago. Anyway,
Yes. Yeah, almost exactly.
so this is from Josh Funk with the Associated Press.
Well, some humans are
Freight
just plain
railroad,
funky.
your Class A railroads, Class 1 railroads. Freight railroads ask courts to throw out new rule. Two-person crews are now required on all freight trains. Four railroads have asked federal appeals courts to throw out a new rule that would require two-person train crews in most nearly all circumstances, saying the mandate is arbitrary, capricious, and an illegal abuse of discretion. The identical challenges of the Federal Railroad Administration's rule were all filed this week in different appellate courts on behalf of Union Pacific, Burlington Northern Santa Fe, and two short line railroads, the Indiana Railroad, go Hoosiers, and the Florida East Coast Railway,
Go Gators.
host to all Florida Brightline passenger services. Shout out Richard Branson. Um, the new federal requirement announced last week was a milestone in organized labor's long fight to preserve the practice and came amid ever increasing scrutiny into railroad safety, particularly in the wake of the fiery February 2023 derailment in eastern Ohio. Most of those railroads did not immediately offer additional explanation for why they don't like the rule, but the industry has long opposed any regulations.
Doesn't
And the
every
Association of
industry?
American Railroads trade group said last week that the go to page 5B, buried in the back. Well, I'm already buried in the B section. Come on, man. Wow. The things you got to dig for. The rule was unfounded and not supported by safety data. The Indiana Railroad, like many short lines across the country, already operates with one person crews. But the major freight railroads all have two-person crews that their union contracts require.
Hmm.
Union Pacific finally responded, saying in a statement, this rule, which lacks any data showing two people in a cab are safer than one, hinders our ability to compete in a world where technology is changing the transportation industry and prevents us from preparing our workforce for jobs of the future. So they keep fighting positive train control,
Hmm.
but they're all about technology. And then they say this rule is unfair because they don't have studies comparing two-man crews to one-man crews on 5 mile long freight trains. Well, the reason they don't have that data is because federal regulators have never let the freight railroads have never been allowed to run one-man crews on 5 mile long trains ever. So
Right.
of course that data is not there to compare. And they're like, well, you can't say that two is safer than one because you won't ever let us run one. And you don't have studies showing that it's safer than running one because you won't let us run one. So there's no way to know that it's safer because you won't let us try it doing more dangerous. Oh, right. Okay, yeah,
All right.
great
Well,
logic,
y'all
asshole.
go out into the driveway and set yourself on fire. And when you start screaming, I guess I'll put you out.
I guess I'll finish this. This is a pretty good article here. Transportation Secretary Poot Booty Fudge has said the need to improve railroad safety was made glaringly clear last year when a Norfolk Southern train derailed on the outskirts of a town, East Palestine, on the Ohio Pennsylvania border, and spilled an assortment of hazardous chemicals that caught fire. Huh. If
That's an
by
odd way to
caught
put it.
fire you mean train cars derailed and some
Yeah, they
contents
deliberately
leaked,
lit it on
and
fire.
so they then used explosives to deliberately blast holes in 4 different train cars to fill a hastily dug trench next to the railroad ballast of the main track, and then they deliberately set that on fire for what was deemed a controlled burn. If that's what you mean by caught fire, then yes.
Right.
Um, Interesting.
I guess technically it did catch
It did
fire,
caught fire after they deliberately
set it on
drained the
fire.
chemicals into a trench and
Yeah.
deliberately lit them, at which point it did catch fire. So that's true. Um, wow, that hurts my brain. So that East Palestine derailment inspired calls for reform that have stalled in Congress. But Booty Fudge and the Federal Railroad Administration declined to comment Thursday on the legal challenges to the new rule that is set to take effect in June of 2024. The head of the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen Union, Eddie Hall, said this legal challenge is just another sign the railroads place profits over safety. He
What?
said keeping 2 people in the locomotive won't keep railroads from investing in new technology, and the industry should instead focus on improving safety and reducing derailments. Boy, that guy sounds like a communist. Trying to make money here, fucker. This move by the railroads was predictable. The railroads and their trade association appeal every single safety reform and have since the Staggers Act. That was signed by President Carter in 1980. Railroads have long argued that the size of train crews should be determined by contract talks, not regulators or lawmakers, because they maintain there's just not enough data to show that 2-person crews are safer. Oh, we're back to that argument again. Well, you don't have any data on 1-person crews for 5-mile long freight trains because you've never let us do that. So you don't have that data to show that it's so much more dangerous that we should never be allowed to do that. So you should let us do that first so you can then prove that we should never be allowed to do that. Because we need even more derailments to show that nobody fucking cares. We're all making money.
I mean,
Suck it,
what's
Ford.
the target number? What are we looking for per day? We're already at 8, right?
Oh, the good news is
Just a little bit more gets you to double
this
digits.
new rule does include a loophole. It turns out
Don't
there's a
they
catch,
all?
Chris. Um, okay, an exception will allow short line railroads to continue operating with only 1-person crews if they've been doing it for more than 2 years and have a plan on file to ensure safety.
Wait, I thought they just said that they would never let them do it.
Well,
How can you
again,
have been doing it for 2 years if you've never been allowed to do it?
we're talking about railroads, and not all railroad companies are the same. there are Class 1 railroads, Class 2 railroads, and Class 3 railroads. Class 1 freight railroads, that's the 4 big monopolies that own pretty much all of the track from the Arctic Circle to fucking Guatemala. All of Canada, United States, and Mexico.
Hmm.
Like KC at Kansas City Southern, um, which was bought up by. Anyways, I've gone over all this before. So short line railroads will typically only have 1 or 2 branch lines. And so you don't typically see long ass trains on short lines unless it's not a dead end branch. If a short line railroad happens to connect from one class 1 railroad to another, that then enables a class 1 freight railroad or even an Amtrak service to then cross from one class 1 rail line to another class 1 rail line using class 2 or class 3 track
Right. On that short
owned and
line.
operated by a short line. Good example would be the Buckingham Branch Railroad, which owns and operates the original C&O trackage, which then became part of Seaboard Systems, which then became and is now CSX, but then CSX farmed out the Buckingham Branch from Staunton, Virginia down to Clifton Forge, because it's got all these tunnels and trestles, and they didn't want to have to maintain it. So they gave it to the Buckingham Branch Railroad as a short line. And Amtrak Cardinal uses that track, and that's the slowest track on the whole line now, where it has a maximum speed of 35, and there's a whole bunch of 15 and 20-mile-an-hour sections because the track is so bad.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, CSX and Norfolk Southern and BNSF and Union Pacific, Kansas City, UPKC, they've all just offloaded track that is expensive to maintain to short line railroads. So let me tell you what's going to happen.
I mean, it sounds like a good business strategy if you're the one offloading it.
They've already been running one-man crews on the Buckingham Branch in Virginia, going up and down the Shenandoah Valley.
Oh, of course.
With the tunnels and trestles.
Yeah, because fuck those people.
Now, when it comes to running long trains, all of a sudden, CSX is going to be like, hey, we need to start running all our traffic back down the Buckingham Branch again because we can change out the crew in Staunton, downgrade it to a one-man crew, and one-man crew it all the way to Clifton Forge until they get back on CSX track because it's class 3 track and they have a loophole.
Yeah.
And that will allow them because, you know, to move a train across a state or 2 or 3 states, it may require 10, 12 different train crews. You can't have the same engineer running the train for 3 straight days nonstop.
No.
Not humanly possible.
They don't even allow truckers to do that.
I mean, you know, if you're doing enough crystal methamphetamine to power an entire German Panzer tank division, yeah, you can probably take half of Northern Europe in 3 days, but most people can't do that. Blitzkrieg. Anyway.
Back in my 20s, I could have done that. I may have even done that once or twice. I'm neither confirming nor denying. I'm just saying.
Oh, here's another argument. The major freight railroads argue that automatic braking systems that are designed to prevent collisions have made the second person in the automotive cab unnecessary, and they believe a conductor based in a truck could adequately drive to and respond to any train problem. Plus, they say taking the conductor off of the train would improve their quality of life because they would no longer have to
anywhere
work
near the train, just like out somewhere. All right, you get in this truck, go drive around. If we have trouble, we'll
So
call you.
they're arguing, well, we have these new technologies with automatic braking and,
Well,
and
just send the
positive train
drones. It'll be
control,
fine.
which they keep fighting, which they still haven't implemented. And now they're using that as an argument that it's safer. The safe shit that they still won't do. Yeah. Wow. I must say that was pretty interesting to see. In just 14 months, it went from a controlled burn, deliberate fire to
It's caught fire.
it derailed and shit caught fire. It's all I know,
Well,
bro.
there used to be back where I grew up in the 70s and into the early 80s because it took a really long time for this to go out. There was, do you remember the tire fire?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was huge uh, junkyard full of used tires that just caught fire.
Yeah.
And burned for fucking ever, putting God knows what particulate matters into the atmosphere for the surrounding populations. But there was a time where I think I remember asking, like, how did it start? And the response I got was something similar to, oh, it caught fire.
You know, I have a really heartwarming story about tires and recycling though. They found they have found an excellent new use for old toxic tires. You can grind them up into tiny little pieces and then glue those little pieces together to make spongy mats,
Mm-hmm.
or just lay down the shredded tires like really clumpy sand and use it in children's playgrounds.
Yep. They had
And
at my
I
high
wish I
school.
was making this up, but that's literally one of the main vectors for recycling tires
Yeah. That at my
is
high
using it
school,
in children's playgrounds. Now,
when
funny
they
story.
resurfaced the track at the
Right.
school, that was exactly the material that they used.
Yep.
Because again, you got kids out there every single day coming in contact with the shit. Why not? It's perfect
Yeah, it's
opportunity to
perfectly
poison
fine.
some
It's
people.
only insanely, hideously fucking radioactive and toxic, but whatever. Carcinogenic, tonight's Scrabble word.
Yeah, and shit,
Um,
that was back in like the 90s.
so
Brand new technology at that time.
the city of Cincinnati thought it would be a really heartwarming thing to collaborate with one of the local healthcare behemoths and build a playground for the kids directly
Was it United
underneath,
Healthcare?
um,
Please tell me it was United.
possibly. I'll look up to see in a second. But as the story goes, they stuck it underneath a, well, with the shoulders included, a 21 lane wide freeway so that sunshine will almost never hit this playground. And it's stuck between just miles and acres of parking lot in all directions.
Awesome.
But it's underneath the Ohio River Bridge for Interstate 471, the Big Mac Bridge. And,
Is it
well,
scenic at least?
no.
No.
I'm just going to say no. No. I mean, you're underneath the freeway with constant traffic. You look up and you see Spaghetti Junction just fly over ramps everywhere. And then you take a big huff of all of the recycled tire material. The entire park with the walls and the little climbing thing, all of it made out of this recycled tire material.
You could probably go play a game of basketball there, and you wouldn't even have to take your weeds with you, and you'd be
No.
high as fuck by the time you got done.
And then, formaldehyde paneling, just all this crap. So somehow this toxic bomb, I'm sorry, children's playground, they saw fit to stick it underneath um the main freeway interstate bridge over the Ohio River. The only relief for probably the most vulnerable bridge in the entire country. And that would be the main freeway bridge into Cincinnati, the Brent Spence double decker truss bridge, which, there's whole rivets that have fallen out of it. Concrete spalling, Spalling. Your bonus Scrabble word. Spalling is when
Hmm.
cute little chunks of concrete start falling out everywhere and exposing the rebar and stuff. Kind of like if you're in a parking garage underneath a Florida condominium, right before it collapses. Um, and that happened.
Mhm.
It wasn't too long ago that another one collapsed
Mhm.
in Florida. It happens. First, the concrete spalls away, and then the rebar's showing, and then blam, the whole thing collapsed. So this toxic bomb somehow managed to catch itself on fire. And being that it was all made of recycled tires, it was a tire fire that burned underneath Interstate 471 in downtown Cincinnati for over a day.
Yeah, didn't it actually weaken the bridge? They were able to
It
determine?
burned so hot that it warped the fucking steel beam.
Right. And
They
they
had
had
to
to
send
replace
in,
them.
remember I talked about this before where they sent
Yeah.
in the dogs, the robo kill
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah, yeah.
'Cause that's the only way they could get that drone footage or pictures safely to
Right.
send in the kill dog, I
That
guess,
that wasn't that long ago.
right, and we now have an actual, schedule for completion and everything, and, the funny thing is, they should have had a repair plan within 24 hours of
You would
closing
think.
traffic. There should have been a repair plan. But it took ODOT, I'm sorry, Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT,
Oh,
took
dot.
them, um, weeks and weeks. The city of Cincinnati aldermen and everybody else is screaming. You know, municipal government's just going nuts. Public's outraged. Everyone's screaming. You got all these TV stations based in Cincinnati, plus radio stations. WKRP in Cincinnati. Um, and ODOT's like, "Well, we're still working on it. We're still working. Well, I can just tell you right now why they were dragging their feet. They were looking at each and every single beam and seeing, well, how damaged is that beam? Because if it's only 80% damaged, we can just repaint that. And, maybe we won't have to replace every part of the burnt, fucked up part of the bridge. We can save some money."
Hmm. Sounds about right.
And so they kept investigating it, and turns out every single beam was fucked up that was subjected to that temperature. Some of them warped more than others, but they're all fucked up. And you're going to have to replace every single fucking beam that was over that fire. You fucking dumbasses. Just spend the fucking money, buy the new steel. Go ahead and order the fucking steel. You should have known within 24 hours. That whole section of bridge deck is fucking shitburger. Demo the shit out of the way. Place the order at the fucking steel mill to get them to make that fucking steel, because that's going to be the biggest time delay. They're going to have to fabricate new fucking steel and then ship the shit to the fucking site. That's what's going to take forever. That's the critical component. We can mix the rebar and the fucking concrete on the site. We can't just go to a store and buy the fucking steel bridge girders because they're custom pieces. It's going to have to be a custom steel girder order. There's only so many mills that make that type of stuff. I mean, surveying and engineering is not some mysterious art. It's just a matter of logistics and making solutions happen. When people say you can't do that, well, that's what engineering does. Well, can't do that, already did it. And here it is. But
that must be
again,
why they're all required to study engineering.
you look at the Roebling Bridge and the Brooklyn Bridge and these other, Golden Gate Bridge, George Washington Bridge over the Hudson for I-95, these marvels of engineering from 100, 150, some cases over almost 200 years ago. And they're still standing because back then the contract to build something went to the best design, not necessarily the cheapest design or the
Correct.
fastest design. They didn't go for the lowest bidder. The contract
No, they
went
went for
to
the
the most
sturdiest.
competent bidder and the best design. That's not how contracting works now. And that's the whole problem with FEMA. That's the whole problem with government, period. All comes down to the contracting process. I feel like we're going back to an old track we've been on, Drizzle, with this.
Well, sometimes it feels like we're going in circles. That's because we have to swing back around to pick up additional people.
But to be fair, anyone that's ever been involved in government contracting can tell you government contracting is literally the art of going around in circles.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you've got that paper and that paper, but I'm going to need the other paper again because that one was dated yesterday and they all have to be dated today. Go back and get it again and make sure it's notarized. My whole fucking life I had to deal with this shit.
Holy shit! I never knew
Stamp
until
this, sign that, emboss this,
yeah.
put the seal on that, enter this as evidence, take that as evidence, and take these other exhibits and 2 affidavits and go down there and have them entered as evidence. First time I did that, I was
So the
11
word.
years old.
Check this out, Yona. I'm sure you.
1985.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably already knew this. So
Anyway.
the word engineer came into the English language in the mid 14th century from Old French. And at that time that it came into the language, an engineer was an architect, a maker of war engines, or a schemer.
A schemer.
Yeah. I don't think much has really changed since the mid 14th century.
Look at Leonardo da Vinci. Total schemer.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this flying machine. Yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah, it looks like it was first attributed to a locomotive operator in
Ingenieur.
1832.
Ingenieur. Train engineers.
Yeah. I'm interested to find out what a war engine is. I'm gonna have to go and look that shit up.
War engineering. Because
Yeah.
there is a war engine, believe you me. And makes sense that to work the war engine, you
Well, I
have
mean, they
war
keep shoveling
engineers.
fuel into something.
You know, it's kind of like the same way you can cram Patriot missiles into the side of the Pentagon.
Very effective.
We're missing more than trillions now, Rumsfeld. We're missing part of the D ring and the C ring. Anyway, luckily, those are the parts that were just renovated with concrete reinforcing walls. So, interesting demonstration
Yeah.
of the penetration of this um, commercial aircraft. Sorry.
Yeah, we might get to see something like that again, Yona. Let's see. You know, the
I
guy
mean,
that
I,
used
I
to be
don't see Uncle Sam ever saying no to a false flag. That, yeah, it's never happened.
well, yeah, he never saw a flag period that he didn't
And
want to rub his dick on. But
Kingsley, of all people, I'm sorry, Dr. Dennis, he is all about this Black Swan event, man. Every time I talk to him, it's all about the Black Swan, man.
hmm,
And I think a Black Swan event is a false flag, or it could
can
be,
be,
can be.
yeah,
I think we're back into Venn diagrams again, Kamala.
could
She's
be
still the vice president too, right?
technically. I don't think she's actually working anymore. I think she took the rest of her personal leave. You know, to
Did
just
Joe
ride
Biden
out the rest of
ever
the term.
make it out of the Amazon?
You know, yes,
Last I
actually, I think
saw
he
him, he was
did. I
like
think he did.
riding
No, he's.
bareback on an anaconda, like
I
booting on a bear.
posted a speech, a little clip from a speech that Biden gave like yesterday or a couple days ago or something.
Oh, so he's
Where, yeah, they were telling him it was time to shut it down because they were turning off the electricity and the teleprompter was going away, and
oh.
yeah, they were like, it's over, it's done,
Okay,
Joe.
okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Okay, okay.
yeah.
I still say my favorite moment of all time has to be when I think he was in Vietnam near Ho Chi Minh City, or maybe it was Hanoi. I'm not sure. He was in Vietnam at some ASEAN conference or whatever, the Pacific Trading
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Confab, and it got to the end. Somebody asked him a question.
I call it a Sean.
He was, yeah, Ashawn, like Ashawn John.
Yeah,
Shout out Diddy. And so he's like starting to ramble on, and they literally, like on half baked with the fucking jam box. Yo, wrap it up, bro.
yeah,
Wrap it up. And
yeah.
fucking
They just played him
Oscar
off.
music his ass. They cranked up the fucking music and drowned him out. And you can hear him like responding to questions. Like, hey, I'm the president. I get to do president stuff. No, no, no,
No,
no,
that's
no.
all over. That's
No,
done.
no, that's all over. You crank up the
He
music.
didn't
Thank
see that.
you, thank you.
Yeah, he didn't see Cheeto
No
Dick
more
on the cover
questions.
of
Thank
Time
you.
magazine, so he thought he was still
I,
president.
I feel obligated to find that clip before I just give Desi what he so desperately wants. Let's see here.
Don't give in to him.
Biden,
You know he's just doing it for attention.
Vietnam speech.
I think he might have. I think he might have gone crazy out there on the water. I heard that happens to people.
It's called sea syphilis. There's no known cure. Rambling Joe Biden
Is that what happened to
abruptly
Napoleon,
cut off Haig's speech. This must be it.
or is that a different one?
All right. Okay. I found it.
Oh, you did?
I found it. Because again, you know, I finished up the Assad remix because he's over. He's toast. I had to finish that while I could. Um, thanks to Gene Ferris and Green Velvet for the samples, as well as two musicians from Turkey. I don't remember their names.
Hmm.
It's got Tarla Bassi and what the fuck are these
Easy for
symbols?
you to say.
Chekaleka Mekaleka High Mekahini Ho. I don't know. Two dudes from Istanbul
Thank you,
playing
Johnby.
the whatever that thing was called. Yeah. So yeah, two dudes playing that thing in the background. It's the Tarbuka. I don't know, some kind of fucking drum.
All right.
Um,
I'll take your word for it.
oh, there it is. Blam. God damn, how many fucking
I was
tabs
wondering
I
if
got
that was
open
on the
here?
way.
I got so many tabs running across the top. It looks like fucking Ryan Christian during one of his short 3-hour shows. You know what I'm saying? Um, you say the 3 hours not short, huh? Compared to 5 and 6 hours,
No,
it's short.
I believe 3 hours is referred to as concise.
Yeah. That's on a slow news day. Let's see. So I got this pulled up here. All right, take it away. Now, of course, there will be prizes for those in the audience that can guess which Joe Biden clone is making this appearance.
Ooh.
All right, so let's rip it open.
He may have a game plan. He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed. We talked about at the conference overall, we talked about stability. We talked about making sure that the third world, the southern hemisphere had access to changes, had access. It wasn't confrontational at all. He came up to me and said,
Thank you, everybody. This ends the press conference. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you putting U.S. strategic interests above?
Wrap it up, bro. Wrap it up.
And I've raised it with every person I've met with.
Mr.
Mr.
President,
President, are you worried about your son being indicted, Mr. President?
I know which Biden that Wow.
All right, folks. All right, let me take it down here.
was. Was that recent?
Let's see. That was 1 year ago.
1 year. Okay. Well, maybe I don't know which Biden it was then. Because I could have sworn that was Stretch.
No, that was not Stretch. That was Next Scrotum. Clone number 4.
Yeah.
For those that guessed clone number 4, you will be receiving your free Dairy Queen Blizzard coupon.
So there's a neck scrotum clone. There's a ball chin clone.
Right?
Does that also mean there's a dickhead clone?
Yes.
Biden with a giant penis coming out of his forehead.
You've seen him before. Number 8. That's the one that got lost in the going out past the Rose Garden, White House lawn. They literally had to go chase him down. And also, Dickhead Clone is the one that got spooked by the Easter Bunny. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
The Easter Bunny scene. Okay, all right.
I still think that was Jill in the Easter Bunny costume.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't she the babysitter?
Yeah, she was originally.
Yeah.
And technically she still is, I guess. Still changing diapers, so. You'd think they'd have the money to have somebody else do that. You know, they could just pay somebody else to do that. Maybe she enjoys it. I'm not sure.
Man, that runs. What the fuck? When was this harvested? Packaged on October the 12th, 2024. That's only 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Harvested 8/10/2024.
That's only 4 months ago.
White runts. White runts power. Wow. It's got the beta carapulene, beta pinene, beta mercane, linalool, limonene. That's the terpene festival. Total THC 35.2%. Wow. Grown by kind for all humankind. Spelled with a Y, because isn't that cool? All I know is it cost me $20. $20 for how much is this?
Apparently, Death to Tyrants has been playing with his Kraken too much out on the water.
It's a tenth.
Gotta be careful, man. You'll go blind doing that.
I thought I had more bud already out here.
What are you looking for?
Oh yeah, I put it right there. Okay. Let me go over here and check and see how long this charitable hooky thing is.
The who? What
No.
did the what now?
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Empire of the Yona Sun. How- Oh, it's only 3 minutes and 34 seconds. All right.
I told him we'll play it on Tuesday. That's when we do that sort of thing.
Well, well, no.
I didn't catch that. You were squelched.
Oh, because Rumble just automatically plays even when I turn it off. Right.
Oh yeah, yeah. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out where that setting is yet. I'm sure somebody knows, and they can point me in the right direction. I've just had a lot of shit going on.
Now I wonder. Because well, let me see here. Did I actually re-upload the remaster of that song?
Of which song?
The Norfolk Southern Blues.
Ah, you
Song
sent it to
3
me.
years ago. Yeah. Norfolk Southern Blues remaster. There it is. Wow. 293 views. I only uploaded it 7 weeks ago. That's like the 5th most popular song ever. Wow. Wasn't expecting all that. Whoa, Ginseng has 854 views. That's crazy.
Why is that crazy?
Because most of my songs only have like 20 or 30. I was thinking one was even crazier. Where's that one where I remixed Olivia Newton-John? Oh, that's just 326. Well, I guess that Ginseng is the at 854. That's my most popular video ever.
On what is that? On Rumble?
Rumble. On Rumble. And Norfolk Southern Blues at 293.
I thought hadn't you gotten I thought you got more than that on something on YouTube before they took it down.
Oh yeah. No, I'm saying for my presence on Rumble.
Gotcha.
These are the highest numbers I've seen on Rumble. So,
which again, I don't even know that's necessarily true. I checked just for shits and giggles because you remember how we had the running joke about like Rumble doesn't actually pay out revenue to anybody.
right.
I just decided to go and take a look and see what's the balance at right now. Have we broken $20 yet? As a matter of fact, we have. Sitting
Oh,
at
wow.
$26.92
Holy shit.
for like a whole year's work.
Let me go to my account overview.
So that's Rumble. That's
And my
awesome.
total Rumble earnings are $21.50.
You'll get there one day. By this time next year, you will have made $26.92.
So maybe in 5 or 6 years, I'll finally hit $50 and I can get my first cash out. Because it's got to be over $50 to cash out.
Oh, it has to be over 50?
Yeah. They won't give you anything until you've made at least $50. So don't lose faith. Just keep plugging away.
Well, I think it used to be 100. So 50 might actually be progress.
Well, I found it. Let's see. Let me go. Echo cancellation. Let me turn that off because I'm going to mic it. Instead of just playing the thing, the video and the remaster, I guess I'll just play it live real quick, about 2 minutes.
All right.
Norfolk Southern Blues. I could turn the keyboard around. That'd be nice, I guess. But
This is radio, man. But you think
yeah,
people are
nobody's really
watching?
tuning into the radio show to see the back of my head, anyways. So, gosh, I haven't played piano in a while. All this work. I hope I can remember the song.
I hope you can remember how to play piano.
Oh man,
I don't know how long you have to be away from it to not be able to do it anymore.
Oh great! I'll just pull the whole thing out. Didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, no doubt. We've only got like 8 minutes left. We're doing good. We haven't. I don't think Langley has even checked in tonight.
I didn't send him a pizza tonight. Fuck him.
Good.
One of them got smart with me and said, "Are you ever going to send Jersey Mike subs or anything else?" I said, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm not sending pizzas in. Ungrateful bastard." Oh,
Serves them right.
God damn it. I had it in there and I just pulled it out. Well, that's when you stick it back in. Oh, yeah. There we go.
See, that is exactly what people tune in for right there.
Ah.
That is worth the price of admission.
Whoa, what's going on here?
I don't know. That was funky.
All right.
Oh, was that not the song?
No, that was my elbow hitting buttons.
Oh.
All right. Okay. Let's see if we can figure this out.
See, more talent in his elbow than most people have in their elbow.
pursuit. Efficient logistication, coast to coast dilapidation. 1868 air brakes. Railroad strikes are illegal, and so is paid time off with your precision scheduled profits. Only communities will ever suffer loss. Black Horse David, thoroughbred of transportation. Mouths with few teeth and feet with no shoes. Dioxin, oxygen, just breathing those Norfolk Southern blues. Trains of such greed bleed and bless you, but blame it on Suboxone or asthma and flus. Harmonize all the sacrifice, everyone sing the Norfolk Southern blues. And the purples and the creeks and the phosgenes in the leaves. There is no problem if you have questions, just form a line, yeah, 'cause the water's fine. Just ask Governor DeWine. The EPA will be here anytime. Black Horse David, thoroughbred of transportation's got us all singing the Norfolk Southern blues.
That was good.
There you go.
And that mostly came through. Yeah. That was really good.
Hopefully you could hear the vocal. All right. All right.
You've been practicing.
Actually haven't. Need to be practicing, but I've been working. Been grinding hard. Got myself out of the hole though.
Good.
Let's see here. Let's
It's
see
good
what
to
I'm
be
working.
out of the hole. The hole is a shitty place to be.
Oh yeah.
Blam.
Blam, son.
Look at that.
Blam. And just I could just anyway. Hustling hard, son. Sometimes ripping another $100 every 2 hours.
Bam.
Blam, 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 blam. Stack it up, pay the bills. Put money away.
In Joe Biden's America, even. See, that just shows you. That shows you what's possible.
A lot of money in fucking Springfield and Dayton and the in betweens. You know, normally I just do Cincinnati and Columbus, but I've been working the in betweens. The again the I got to get that flag. I got to get that flag. If I'm going to keep working in Springfield, I got to have that fucking "Don't Snack on Me" flag flying on my whip, man. It's like, and they take it so there's billboards around Springfield like "Stop spreading the hoax." Like,
really?
yeah,
oh, wow.
Man, it's like, don't these people realize? Don't feed the memes. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
respond to the memes with billboard ads. You're doing
I
it
don't
wrong,
think that would
Springfield,
work. Yeah,
Ohio.
that doesn't
Doing it
seem like a
wrong.
good strategy.
Because you know what happens now? Now we take the billboard that's criticizing the meme and it becomes a new meme in itself.
That's right.
They don't understand how the art of memeing is like a martial art where you take the energy from your enemy and use it against them.
Again, you're expecting a bureaucrat, which is a simple-minded creature, to understand a complex concept like memetics.
Right.
It's never going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Never going to fucking happen.
And coming up next is Death to Tyrant Song. Looks like it's going to be Tuesday, buddy.
Oh
You're gonna
shit.
hate me
Yeah,
forever.
we're out of time
Oh
tonight.
shit.
That's
But don't
wow.
worry.
Wow.
It
It's
is
a
going to be
shame.
on the Tuesday night show.
There you go. If you send it in as a request, send it in as a request and we'll play it. That's what we do on Tuesday nights. That's how it works, Deathy. We don't go
And
back
he's already
and look at
submitted
last week's
the
chat
link
to
in
get
the chat.
requests.
So it's
so you got
official.
to send it to the Telegram channel. Or you can drop it in the chat Tuesday night and we'll play it then. But Rumble chat doesn't stick around for some reason. So it's
I will
once we're off the air, it's
personally
gone.
go to Telegram and include the link for Deathy's song. But that's Deathy I will be requesting on behalf of Deathy to Deathy request Deathy's song.
All right, well we'll get it
Because
figured out. We'll get it played Tuesday night.
Yeah.
But
Because I mean
that's it. We're
I
out of
I
time.
kind of already had a song in mind that I was gonna request Tuesday because
Yeah.
I don't think I've requested Old Blue Eyes as
No,
of
I don't
yet.
believe you have.
I don't think I've pulled my Sinatra card yet. And so it's Christmas time,
Uh-oh.
pulling the Sinatra card for this Tuesday. I already know what it is. I could say it out loud right now, but that's not how Tuesday night requests work.
That's
This
not
is
how
Thursday
media
night.
works. This is
We're
supposed to be
getting
what you
back
call a
to the heart of it.
cliffhanger. You have to leave people at the very end with something to look forward to in the future.
That's right, folks. Come fly with me. That's not it. But anyways, love you guys. Woohoo! No one can bullshit you when you trust your own intuition. It's called a gut feeling, the right feeling. Anyways, that's all I got. Key takeaway.
All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, for open lines.
I'll be back grinding it hard.
That's what
working
she
it
said.
out.
That's right.
Tops and bottoms. Don't forget the legs.
Good night, everybody. Oh, I even got the cough on the recording.